Welcome to Date Affirm the Real. Good evening, everyone, to the special edition live with all 4 members of Date Affirm the Real. I am Keya McClain, one of the hosts.
Marcus Goodwin. Hey.
This is Don, aka Junior Lily.
Shimeka the DAR Therapist.
What it do, y'all? What it do?
We are in front of a live studio audience today.
All right, y'all. So we are excited to be here. As you all know and have seen, Marcus and I got married yesterday. So big ups for that. It's a good win.
Yay.
So I am just shooting out some invites to you all that normally are in here with us this evening. And if you can't catch us right now, you can always come back and watch the replay. Make sure you hit hashtag replay DAR. All right, so we are excited again to come on with you all this evening. And what are we going to be talking about this evening? Decentering your partner, the key to embracing your soft life era.
Yes.
As you guys know, we've had several conversations where the guys talked about soft wife life,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then Shimeka and I talked about decentering men.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we'd explore this conversation further because I think there were maybe some misunderstandings or maybe some different thoughts and perspectives about these conversations. So let's kind of talk about it together, collectively,
good.
right?
Indeed.
We got all the people
We're
here
here
For the
together.
first
for
time.
the first time
First
ever.
time. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is cool, right? This is cool. My cousin is in from
I
Cali.
don't have to look at the camera.
She don't have to. We don't have to be like.
I can touch you now.
We don't have to be like this. My cousin. We don't have to do that.
Sorry.
She's a married woman. You can't be touching a married woman.
Oh.
She tried to put her finger on it. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna kick this thing off by talking about when I'm gonna actually let Don kick it off because you guys started with soft wife life.
Yes. Yes,
So
indeed.
let's talk about some of the key points that you guys hit on with soft wife
Let's get
life.
into that soft wife life. First of all, with all these muscles, ain't nothing soft over here. So I'm gonna let Marcus talk about the soft thing. Yeah, but anyway, the soft wife life, we were discussing this too, how your mate can live almost like a life of luxury while the partner is taking care of everything, enjoying the benefits and reaping all that comes with that in pertaining to the soft wife life, which this case was more pointing towards the female, but it also can apply to the males if you want to lay around the house and have your woman do all the work. You know, that can apply as well.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
So no, I'm gonna jump in here.
That's why we're having conversation here.
Yeah.
See, different perspectives.
Yeah.
So one thing my wife once said to me one time before, when she gets to a certain level, she's gonna retire me.
Wow.
So if she retires me because she has a higher earning potential, and we can have all things we want, desire, needs, and help others, why can't she give me the soft life?
That's
I can support her another way. So necessarily being soft life don't mean lazy ass.
correct.
Exactly.
So,
Correct.
And just for clarification, when you talking about ain't nothing soft over here, when I hit it, my shit don't bend.
Oh, you heard it from the man himself. You heard it from the man Marcus himself.
That's my new cousin. Go on, new cousin.
That's your new cousin.
My new cousin.
Yes.
But in regards to you just talking about the soft life era, if you are able to get to that point, what will be some of the things you would do to try to pass the time if you have a lot of free time on your hands? Would you go write a book? Would you go day drinking, hanging out at the club all day?
But no. My priority would be her.
Okay.
So she prioritized me by giving me a soft life.
Yeah.
But my priority is to make sure she can have everything she needs, desires, and wants to fulfill what she's doing to maintain our positive household.
I got you.
So me living softly don't mean I'm not working at something.
Yeah, there you go. So
Right.
you're pretty much taking care of all the normal aspects of daily life that sometimes we don't get to do because of our work-life balance or activities outside of work that may take us away from those normal routine things.
Right.
Now, I did want to share something because there's a study, and I think I've shared this before. There's a study that says when a man gets married to a woman, his life is longer and her life is shortened when a woman gets married.
I thought it was the other way around.
No.
Men usually die first.
But when they're married, because guess what happens? We center the man too. And so we're taking, and so even when Marcus shared from you guys' thing about how he provides a soft life for Keya, that in return helps both of them mentally and emotionally, so that way they both can thrive in the relationship.
Okay, that's definitely a good
Another perspective.
Yeah.
Well, also when we talked about decentering men, we also kind of talked a little bit about there are different definitions of soft wife life, right? There's not just one blanket definition, which is the woman that just kind of lays around and does nothing.
Yeah.
There's also soft wife life is also a woman who she does work, right? She does bring in some income. However, her husband or significant other takes on more of the
Contributes
financial
more to the
responsibility.
house, yes.
He does pay attention to a lot of her needs.
Yes.
He does cater to her a lot differently. So soft wife life is less about her just, getting pedicures and sitting up and doing nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's about a good soft balance.
Exactly.
Because if she's in her soft essence, then she's going to provide something for that man.
Yes.
And
Right?
thrive and heal.
He's going to thrive
Yeah.
if he provides a soft wife life for his woman, because if she's in that space, she's going to be very happy and willing to provide for him in ways that she may otherwise not be able to, because all women are working nowadays.
Right,
It's
reality.
a two-income household lifestyle.
We can't
now,
even live
right?
off of one income.
And so if you were a higher earning partner, no matter if it's the woman or the man, you're providing a softer life for your partner, which in turn really increases you all's potential overall for thriving in your relationship.
Yeah, indeed. We do.
Do you think?
Agree. We have our first comment here. It definitely is calling out Don. It says Don sounds
His pause was.
this is from Marisa Tompkins. It says Don sounds like he needs a wake-up call to what is required to run a household. Yeah, definitely.
Or,
getting my schooling done today. I'm getting myself self-check here.
Well, but here's the thing. That's why I like us, because I like that we have different perspectives.
Yeah.
And we can see these different perspectives, but also that you're open and we're all open to understanding and gaining this other knowledge, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Because we
That's
all
what-
learn from each other.
Man,
Every
were
week
just
we learn from each
iron
other.
sharpens iron.
Yep.
Right.
There you go.
So I can learn from you, do different things and different means, and that's a relationship, right? In a relationship, we have a relationship. We have a relationship dynamic where we're learning from each other, we're growing from each other, and we're sharpening each other. But that can also occur in a romantic relationship.
Yeah, because honestly, when he was talking about his opening statement about a man could be lazy, just because she would retire me, definitely I can't be lazy. And that would be a reminder, don't be lazy. Don't become a bum. Just because I don't have to make an income, don't means I don't have to contribute.
You're right. I just to not to dismiss what you're saying. Hypothetically, I'm thinking here in that scenario for me, it would be hard for me to be lazy, as you're indicating.
Right.
Because I like to do stuff. So if I'm not out there mowing the yard, if I'm not out there fixing something, I couldn't just sit there and be like, I'm just going to sit here and look at soap opera all day. There's no way. I'm going to have to do something as a man. Because
Well, even as a person.
as a person,
Yeah.
Because the thing is that here's the thing: we all have, because we still have things to attain, right, and accomplish. We have purposes.
Yes.
We have purposes in our lives, right? So what if that goal of retiring you means that you don't have to work for somebody else, but now your purpose, now you can work your purpose.
Yeah.
Now it's not just about mowing the lawn. It's not just about like,
Yeah.
yes, it's all that encompassing.
Reach some of those goals.
Yes. And it's about, you know, contributing to the relationship, to the household and everything. But also now I can live my purpose. Now I don't have to worry about like this income coming from this
Yeah.
job, right? Now I can be like, ooh, I want to run this business and help this, whatever that is, whatever your purpose is.
Yeah.
And what if that gives him the opportunity to do so?
You know, so you just took that all the words out of my mouth. You say it so nicely, elegantly. I was just gonna say, do what you do. But I really appreciate it because the translation out from my head to your mouth, perfect.
Because you're your cousin now, you blood now. And so the connection is deep and strong, like the force.
Like Professor X, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Gotcha.
And so when we talked about decentering men, right? So I think a lot of the focus was about not necessarily not having a man or not making a man priority, but it was about a lot of times what we've been taught as young women, starting as little bitty girls, we've been taught to center boys and then men. We've been taught that. It's been ingrained in us. You need to have a husband. You need to have a man. You need to know how to take care of babies and cook and clean. And men are not brought up in the same way. And so what happens is you have all of these women who are focused on men, centering men, and you have men who are not centering women.
But
they weren't taught to do that. And so when we talk about decentering men, what we're talking about is learn to focus on yourself. Learn who you are. Go within. Because when you don't do that, this is why healing is important. This is why I talk about this all the time. Because if you don't heal, if you don't know who you are, you're going to be looking externally for other things. Validation, love, acceptance.
Yes.
All of those things will be sought outside of yourself. You need to be going internally, knowing who you are and understanding who you are, because there are women who I know that's all they talk about is a man, a man, a man, a man. I gotta have a man. I need a man. This man, this. And it's like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting a man. I'm a relationship person. I love being in a relationship. But a man is not the center of my life, right? Marcus is not the center of my life. I am the center of my life. I come first, and I always tell him, you come first in your life. Because if he gives me everything in this cup, and he has not done anything or centered himself, what good is he to me?
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes.
So we have to learn how to take care of ourselves, embrace ourselves. You don't make your partner your everything. It is to the detriment of yourself to do that. You have to learn how to focus on yourself. You need to learn how to say, okay, these are things that I need for me. When you're in a relationship, you guys have different times apart, right? You do your thing sometimes. Your spouse does their thing sometimes. Then you come back together. You've had an opportunity to miss one another. They're not the center of your life, right? And you understand there's balance, right? And then so that way that person is not feeling smothered or overwhelmed, and you don't feel like you're depleted from that, because sometimes that can even be draining. So what do you guys think about that?
I do have a question. When you were talking about not the centering part, but the fact that how women are raised from little girls to always
seek after a man. Get mad.
When we become adults, like the ages we are now, that tends to become subconscious. So how could we bring the focus so that we can, even men can self-check ourselves to say, okay, if I'm being too centered on myself, how can I ensure that I include my spouse? Or the woman is doing so much for her spouse that she's not even centering on herself. How do we self-check ourselves? Because it becomes subconscious after a point of time.
It is.
Go ahead, Shimeka.
It definitely is. Yes, it does become subconscious because we laugh about what's her name, White, Betty White, and no pain, no gain, and it's better than have a man, a little piece of man than have no man at all, right? That was a song.
Yes.
That was right. And so the thing is that what you're looking to do is be mentally healthy. What you're looking to be is where you don't have to go out and you're like, oh, I'm going out because I'm seeking after this attention from a woman or a man. Like, I seek this attention instead of going out and enjoying life. What if you just went out and enjoyed life? Like, what what a concept. I'm just gonna go and make a conscious decision to enjoy myself. I'm going to make a conscious decision to allow my partner to enjoy themselves and give them that space to do so. And the thing is that because again, we also do this thing too where we're like, you're mine, you're mine, you're only just mine.
Possession,
thank you. Possession, and that's not healthy either. Because again, when you possess, we are not nobody. You are not an item, and we are not an item, like an object. We're not objects.
Yeah.
We're people. And so the thing is that when you give people the space to choose you, it's a different experience. When you give somebody, say, you know what, you enjoy your enjoy your evening, you enjoy your weekend, wherever you're going. If you're going to get yourself some time, enjoy that. Enjoy that space, because I'm going to do the same. And then when we come together because we've done something that have nurtured us, that have loved on us, that has built us up, and we filled our cup. We filled our cup, so now we can fill each other's cup. But it's overflowing though when we do it. Like
exactly.
now I'm overflowing. Now I can share. Now we feeling good. Now I'm not feeling depleted because I keep giving, and I'm not giving to me. That was good. Y'all record that? That was good. That was good.
So the best. So I agree with everything you just said.
Go ahead.
The best analogy was the one you gave me about when you're not centering yourself. So I do have that issue because I'm always trying to do for her. Because that's what I love to do. But I often forget sometimes some little things about myself. So that cup analogy, how she had said it was, when I'm trying to fill my cup with a strong stream, it's trying to fill it, but she's getting splashes of what's coming out that cup. A little this, a little that, but she's not getting true overflow. So she's getting dabs of the goodness. But if you turn that faucet down just a tad and let it fill up slowly, how does it come out the cup? So now she's getting a true overflow, not splashes like everything where you just got a full blast, like everything's going everywhere, you're making a mess. And I had to realize, when she put it that way, I had to realize, like, yo, that's real.
I think it's important too. Like, I would tell Marcus along the way. So Marcus is definitely a people pleaser, right? He wants to please, not just me. That's just how he is. That's that's his love language, right? He loves to please people. But I always tell him, make yourself a priority, even over me, right? And I'm now his wife. Make yourself. Why do I say that? Because again, if you're not good and you're concentrating on me 100% of the time, in some ways you're going to show up depleted. I don't know what that's going to look like. It could show up where you're not getting enough sleep. It could show up when now you're grumpy and you're snapping at me. It could show up in so many different ways. So that's why you have to pour into yourself. That's why you have to focus on yourself. That way your partner is getting the very best version of you. And we don't always consider that because it's not really the natural way. We've been taught something else, and as you said, Don, it's a very subconscious thing, right? We don't even think about it because we've been doing this thing for such a long time. But that's why we have these conversations. Let's start to focus on how to revert from that to something healthier. Right? So our relationships last longer. So our relationships are stronger. Right? And so that we don't feel like we're depleted from always putting out, giving, doing. And so that can exhaust a person. And then you start to feel like the other person doesn't appreciate you, but what's really happening is you're overworking yourself, trying to please, trying to do, and there's nothing in your cup, right? You see, but you got that little bit there, right?
I got it.
So if you're trying to give me something,
sweet.
if you're trying to give me something, and that's all you got, I'm not getting the full version of you.
And you're gonna be
You see?
resentful, and you're gonna be resentful because
So
now you didn't fill your
yes.
cup.
So that's how resentment comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how fear comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how jealousy comes in. Those are how those negative things, emotions come into play because we're not focusing on ourselves. We're centering the other person.
Yes. I've in session, I've told clients, I've told them, you know, be okay with your partner choosing somebody else. Right? Right. Okay. So if you do that,
I need to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking how to prep my
because you're not a possession. Because you're not a possession. So it's the relationship is even better when you're like, I don't possess you. If you choose to be with somebody else, I'm gonna enjoy these moments in your faces. I love this. Look at your face. I love it. I love
He's
it.
struggling with this right
Yeah,
now.
because you're making a good point. I do understand that concept. That
Yeah,
there is-
and it doesn't mean they will, right?
Yeah.
It's just giving them the space to be free to choose whatever they want to choose. What
Yeah,
if
make sure
Because that's trust.
That is true.
That's the
and that's
ultimate
it right there.
level of trust.
Right.
It is the ultimate level of trust. I'm going to share this real quick and we need to address some comments.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you something. When I first started going to my beautician, and a lot of you guys met her 2 years ago. So this is like a year into Marcus and I dating. She said, "You guys don't FaceTime?" Because everybody knows Marcus travels. He's gone for a week at a time. And so I said, "No, we don't FaceTime. Oh, I need to check on this man every day. I need to see his face. What's going on? Who in the room with him?" I said, "No, I don't do that. I can't control what that man does. And I don't want to. That man can go to Kroger, the grocery store, and be in somebody's back seat doing something. So I'm not trying to, that's too stressful for me.
Man.
I'm not getting ready to do that to me. Do you understand the level of anxiety and stress you put on yourself by doing that?
Man.
Kia's not going to do it. You shouldn't do it. Don't put yourself through that where you're like, I got to know what they're doing. Because you still ain't going to know at the end of the day, right? So I give him the trust that I have for myself. I trust me, so I trust him. I don't need to FaceTime him. I don't need to know he doing what he's supposed to do because that is the person I chose. So I trust the person that I chose. I don't have fear. I'm not moved by fear. I'm not moved by any of those emotions because I trust me, so I trust him. And if he does something outside of that, that's just something that I'll have to deal with, right?
Yes.
But I can't live in that
Yes.
fear.
Yes.
I can't live in that because it's a triggering thing,
Yes.
right? And that settles in your body and it creates other issues.
Stress in your body. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna point out when I go to Kroger, I am not in the back seat.
Random FaceTime now.
I am
Yeah,
not
Kroger.
backseat nobody's Jeep speaking the episode.
So R. Kelly, we got comments you said you wanted to address. You want to address that comment there?
What if you're constantly pouring into each other's cup? Will this prevent your cup from running low? There's self-care and then there's selfishness.
That's a good one there.
So let's address the first question.
Yeah.
What if you're constantly pouring into each other's cup? So that sounds reciprocal,
Yeah.
right? So that's good. That's a reciprocal exchange. I'm pouring, you pouring, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just one person pouring.
Not
You
one
want
side.
that.
Yes.
So
That's
we
what you
good on
want.
that part.
You want that.
Y'all good on that part?
Yes.
You want that.
I agree.
All right. Will this prevent your cup from running low? No, because we're balancing that it's reciprocal, so it's all good.
No, but you still but you still have to make time for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you still got to make
Definitely.
time for you. You cannot avoid making time for you because again, even though you guys are, you still need to fulfill your own desires and your
You have to
own
center yourself
purpose.
first.
You have to center
Yeah.
yourself because then you still need to replenish you and still like you. Yes, you're getting from him as well. Yes, thank you, love you so much. But I also need to love on me too. I need to love on me and whatever that looks like, right? If you guys are like, because I'm picturing. What does that look like? We're constantly pointing to each other's cup. Are we always around each other? Like, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, is this
That's
like? What
true.
does that look like? And then and so I'm like, I just want to make sure we know that it's not about like, oh, I like this fantasy thing because we still got to work, we still got lives to live, we still
Yeah.
got to run a household and stuff. So we're not always in each other's space all the time.
Yeah.
So you still have to make sure you're taking care of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that looks like, right? Because if somebody's like, again, like we're FaceTiming all the time because we're pointing each other's cup. No, that's too. That sounds stressful.
Yeah.
You know, but if it's again, I'm pouring into mine. You're pouring into me and I'm getting my
Has to be a
own.
healthy balance.
Yeah.
Like Marcus said, if you got the tap on too fast,
Right.
it's going to splash. But if you
Yeah.
slow it down, it becomes more.
I think you hit it perfectly because I'm never stop filling my cup.
Yeah.
I'm never stop filling my cup. When our overflow comes, it's like two colors making a rainbow.
Yeah.
You know, we still got the rain making a river,
Right.
and we still hydrating the plants and making flowers. You know, so I'm never gonna stop loving myself now. I'm gonna make time, make sure that the thing, because there's things I do that you just can't stand. And
That's real.
Real, you know,
That's
things
real.
I love to do that you just can't stand. But that's how I'm gonna replenish mine. And that's a good reason to say, hey, go do that shit I can't stand.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Shoot them away like that.
And I'm being serious because
No, that's good. Yes.
Because over here, so I had a movie bucket, refillable movie bucket in my
Oh, wow.
car.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
Refillable movie bucket.
Yeah, popcorn
Yeah, he
bucket.
got a big movie
So the same
bucket in his
bucket.
car.
Yeah, you can
So when he goes to the movies, they can just put popcorn in it.
yeah, for a lower price.
For a price, though. I thought you could get it for free.
Oh, no, he'll get it for
He
free.
get a discount. He get a
I
discount.
thought you could get a new bucket. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Flies, y'all. No, throw it out, man.
I ain't saying that I'm washing. I wash and put it back in my car.
Oh, you wash it? Okay. Now,
He washes it.
I thought he just let it sit back.
I
on
make
some
sure he
dirty
wash
socks
it down. I make sure he
Okay.
wash it.
But that's even still hilarious because it's like getting soggy.
Just getting funky.
It's getting soggy.
No.
I'm sorry.
You don't get off my boot
I'm
bucket.
sorry.
I walk in there proud like
But that was good.
Like it's a purse. I don't care.
You know what? Okay, we listen.
Okay, wait,
That's
y'all,
who
wait,
you are.
wait.
No, I'm just
Because we
saying.
got a lot of other
Oh, okay,
comments
okay,
that
okay.
we should pull up.
Okay.
Babe.
Wait, she's like, and there's self-care and there's selfishness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to go back to that. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, okay.
I forgot about that.
That,
last
that,
part.
that second part is a good.
So there's self-care and then there's selfishness. Now that's good because I think sometimes, think about it. There are people who are like, I got to go and get a manicure and a pedicure and a massage every other day, right? Okay, how is that affecting your partner?
At the expense of
At the
who?
expense, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You don't
we're
want
talking
to-
about financially. How
Right.
does that affect the household? We're talking about you're gone from the house
Yeah.
4 days a week to go get manicure, pedicures, and massages, and you're
Right.
not taking care of the house or whatever. So yeah, you have to have a healthy balance with that, because
Yeah.
then that does become selfish.
Yeah.
That's just an extraordinary example, right?
Right.
But think about though, when we try to give that soft life, that soft wife life, and we struggling for you to have that, then we got problems.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like you said, the financial, because I want to make you happy, but it's depleting my cup financially or whatever. Just trying to do that.
Right. But that's where you don't want to do that either, because then again that causes stress in the relationship.
I agree.
So then, okay, so how can you do that without, you got to go get pedicures and manicures every 2 weeks, right? Or
Every other day.
Every other day, right? I think that's
toes ain't grown yet.
right. I'm gonna say, my toes don't go that long fast, It'll like a month. I feel like a month. But and then having that conversation with them, like, okay,
Yeah.
baby, this right here. So that's when you sit down with your partner and you're like, okay, let's look at our finances. Can we continue to do this? Are we being financially responsible? Because then we gonna have then the relationship not gonna be a soft life, because now y'all gonna be arguing.
That's my,
Over finances.
We discussed that, I think, when we did the podcast of givers versus takers.
No,
Someone
okay,
being
yes.
selfishness is more of a taker because they see the opportunity to take only for themselves.
Yeah.
And while the person is giving is just pouring out their cup and not getting anything replenished.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a good question to ask, and then it becomes based on the relationship as to discuss internally as to how to address if those issues are coming up when someone's
Exactly.
selfish or something.
And I want to share this because we typically try to share, especially when me and Shimeka do our podcast together, we typically try to share answers, advice, resources. We don't just talk about the stuff and don't provide some type of resources. But here's what I would say to that. I would say do check-ins with your partner. We don't do that. We just keep keep going and you just keep
On
going.
autopilot.
You don't stop. You don't say, how are you feeling? Is there something that you need to be fulfilled? Am I lacking in any area? You know, how do I show up differently for you? We don't just stop. We're just constantly going, constantly moving, constantly. It's just a constant thing, right? So Marcus and I tend to check in with each other. You know, how are things going? Is there something that, you know, you would like to do or whatever? If I feel like I need time, I'll say, babe, we haven't gone on our date. And Friday nights are our explicit date night. We don't miss our date nights unless we've agreed to do that, and we, you know, but Friday nights are our set date night. We are both cigar smokers. We're gonna go and smoke our cigars on Friday nights at our home lounge. So have your thing, have your special thing.
I love it.
And if you don't have that, create that. Another thing is there are all kinds of dating games. There's make sure you're connected with other healthy couples. Stop dealing with toxic couples. If they fighting, they getting divorced or separated every other week. Leave them people alone. Seriously, I don't care if you know them 30 years, 40, leave them alone, because they're not going to contribute positively to your relationship. So that's just pieces of advice from me. I don't know if Shimeka, you want to add anything to that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna say to you very quick, sir.
Go ahead, sorry.
Honest check-ins.
Honest, yes.
Because
that's good.
How
man.
you feeling? Oh, okay. No, you're not. Stop lying to me and yourself.
And yourself. That's
So that's the hard. I think that's really the hardest part. Being honest about it. Especially,
Even when it might hurt them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
Good.
We've had to hurt each other sometimes, you know?
Yeah, you heard good, baby.
Let's get to that. Next comment we have up here that says control.
Oh.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, control. Go ahead.
Control is dangerous and too much work for everyone involved.
It is.
So
he was talking about the jealousy thing.
The jealousy part of control. I know there's a sense of healthy jealousness, but then you got someone who is controlling. That takes a step further. It becomes dangerous for people involved if they're that level of narcissist.
Yeah. So, real quick.
Even when Key was saying checking, go ahead.
No, you talk.
Even when hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. I want to also, Brisa, when you said not always obvious to see at times, okay, because we came to it late. What was that part, if you remember?
Pertain to was that the self-care and the selfishness?
Not always obvious to see.
Yeah, that was the follow-up to her comment.
Oh, okay.
Self-care and then there's selfishness.
So the selfishness was not always obvious to see at times.
Yep. Yeah, that was a follow-up question too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. It's a big one. Then followed by a small line.
Well, you can't see, and so I'm going to go refer back to even Kia saying checking in with your partner. We also have to check in with ourselves.
Yep.
We talked about this before about checking in with yourself when you're around people, checking with yourself when you by yourself. Like, okay, how am I feeling? When somebody's talking to you, you be like, hold on, I'm feeling some type of way right now.
Yeah.
Like, why am I feeling angry? Because because the way they just said something to me, and pause and take that pause and say, okay, hold on, pause, because I need to see how I'm feeling right now, and what you just said. I need to go back to see what's going on right here. But checking in with yourself is important. And again, like Kia said, we're always on go. We're on autopilot all the time. It's important that you check in with yourself, because at the end of the day, you'll be like, what did I do today?
Yep.
Where was I today? I also encourage clients to download mood apps. There's one on Apple.
Calm app is my
Calm
favorite.
is probably the most
Calm is the
popular.
Now and my so then there's the one that's already on Apple that has the health thing, the little square with the heart in it.
Yeah.
It'd be like take a minute to check in with yourself, and I'd be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
And so it's important to check in with yourself. You are important. You are valuable. You have to remember you are valuable and you are important. And so checking in with yourself is important.
And what I tell y'all every other week, journal.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to Floyd. He says, "Hey fam, what's up, Floyd? Thanks
What
for
up,
tuning in, sir." And what's the deal with this popcorn bucket? Marcus,
Yes.
we gotta
every year you buy one every year at the beginning of the year. And it's like half price for some popcorn.
Is the popcorn that expensive?
Hell yeah, you
Oh
can do
yeah,
that.
it's
I'm sorry.
$20.
It is expensive though.
When
It
was
is
the last time you
expensive.
been on
That
date
shit
night?
$20
We
for a
went
little late.
last week. We went last week.
So it's worth it.
I don't know about keeping the bucket though. I mean, I just go ahead and just buy
He
new.
said renew it every year.
Oh, you got big money.
Man,
Yeah.
I just ain't keeping no bucket like that.
You reuse a cup, don't you?
Trying to refill that cup.
Can I get a refill?
Bill.
Why barista say, does it include extra butter, AMC, or United?
So let's take a moment real quick.
Maybe that's the other comments.
Is it? I didn't see
Yeah.
any.
On
No,
the
that was
Instagram
it.
side.
Oh,
Instagram
Instagram.
side.
It's not coming up. Hold on. What's
They're
up?
not coming up. I'll show them to you. We got a lot. We got a question from Ro, which is sir, and I'm trying to get back to it.
This one here, look right here. Can you see?
Yep.
Alright, let's get that comment in there.
Can I get free? There you go, man. Sing that dang old song.
Hilarious.
You know we got copyright protection.
Hilarious. Can I get a refill?
Okay.
Right. Don't get us flagged.
Oh,
Row Texas, touch on the systematic attacks of the fluidity of the black man and woman. Ooh, man.
damn.
Keep topic, huh?
Fluid-
He's trying to have
but-
his own show.
Yeah.
Systemic attacks on the fluidity of black man
Wow.
and woman. Fluidity means
Please elaborate.
no. That's why I want to ask him. Fluidity? Are you talking about sexuality? Like fluidity of what? Of in a relationship? Like is there roles in the relationship fluid in that, or individual like fluidity is like female, masculine, whatever that concept is. So, can you further explain fluidity?
All right. Cool. When they figured out what a fluidity is, and we put it in English terms, we'll work on it. Now, I was gonna say twerk on it. Work on it. So, but let's take the time. So we have live audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does
Any questions?
anybody have a question or comment? Let's start. Let's take it this way. Let's take it bit by bit. On a soft wife life era. Anybody have any comments on that? Questions, concerns, thoughts on that? Because it's becoming really popular. Maybe by show of hands, who desires that? The soft wife life or soft partner life? Nobody? Cool. I do. Oh,
I
see,
mean,
guys? All right. So we do have one.
We got
Okay.
two.
We got fee. We got fee. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
living it down.
He said he living it now.
All right. So what's that? So you told me you lived in now. What does that look like to you, sir?
Yeah.
It's pretty damn boring. I'll say this though, I realize there's a lot of things that I take for granted. You know, when I was at work, now that I've been off sick, you know, I realize there's a lot of things that I've taken for granted. I didn't realize that need to happen day to day. What that happened day to day that I didn't realize happened because
Yeah.
I was already gone.
Yes.
And now
Yeah.
that I'm at home, I can see and appreciate things a little
Oh,
differently.
that's good.
Now that I'm at home, so I'm
Yes.
going back to work this week, so I can not have to face it.
That's a great
Let's avoid
perspective.
it.
What I have to do. Just
Do you think you can still incorporate some of those changes now that you're going back to work, or will it will just default back to what it was in the beginning because you're not there, so
No, I realize that there's a lot more that I can do
Yeah.
when I'm not there.
Okay.
When I do come home, there's
Okay.
other things that I could probably do
Yeah.
that I never even considered before because it was outside of what I normally do.
I got you.
So I've kind of learned that I can evolve a little bit and you know be a little more. I'll just keep it real, be a little more thoughtful about
There we go.
the way I do things. You know when I'm home, you
Yeah.
know, as it relates to time and time management and spending time, you know, intimate time with my wife and family versus coming in and then having all these have-tos, you know, all these things I got to do when I'm not at work.
Yeah.
I can prioritize my time a
Okay.
little better and make, you know, the time that I spend with them a lot more meaningful.
Yeah. So being more intentional is.
Yes, yes.
So
And
I
even
got
communicating with her, like asking, you know, okay, are there things that you prefer I do or check in with too, just to make sure, because sometimes we have our own routine too. And you might come in and be like, oh, I got it. And you're like, wait, I got a routine.
I
Do this, but I need you to do this, right?
I experienced that being at home and
Mhm.
you know getting up and just going to Chick-fil-A. No, I don't eat in the morning. I just want coffee.
Mhm.
You know those types of things.
Yeah.
But for me, my brother, I'm at work at night. My day starts you know, at 4 a.m. So I got to be moving. I can't just lay in the bed all day.
Yeah.
And so, you know, those are the kind of things that I'm looking at and saying, okay, maybe I need to pay closer attention and try to, you know, be a little more accommodating and start, you know, paying, you know, acknowledging things that I can do to be more helpful.
And communicate.
And
Don't assume that you know what she needs or what she wants. Communicate. That's important, because then you have an issue then.
All right, so you're
welcome.
Amen.
You're my brother, and I'm gonna tell you that assuming will get you in a world of hurt in your house.
oh, is that why I'm always in pain?
Yeah.
Just a question for the panel.
Just because your cup is cracked. That's all.
Some tape. Like some tape. Little tape.
Yeah.
Little tape to wrap it up.
The overflow, so the crack is messing you up. Got the drug. Crack in the cup. But what I do want to address is Felicia. She said she desires a soft wife life. But I want to hear from her, what does that entail? What do you picture a soft wife life being?
I think one of the key things for me is just I was a single mom for a long time, so there's this innate thing to make it all happen for everybody all of the time, and maybe it's just a mom in general because we're just nurturers like that. And so sometimes just taking a few things off of my plate, like it's not that I don't want to work. I love my career. I want to work. It's not about you paying all of the bills. It may be something as simple as I have 10 things on my plate every day. I'd like to have 7 instead of 10.
Yeah.
It's really, and I think one of the key things he said too is just prioritizing time, because sometimes just having the normal hustle bustle of the day, and then when he comes home, okay, here's an outlet, but I don't have an outlet because he's in the flow. So even the salt, it's really not about things being tangible, something that I can touch or hold on to. It's time, it's some self-care, and even some one-on-one time with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what
And
soft life is.
right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
It's more of that than
exactly. It's that being considerate of that other person and saying like, okay, what can I do to make this easier for you? I need time. Okay, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Like communicating that, right? For you, for your partner, like what does that look like for you? What do you need from me to make sure that you're having an easy? Because because here's the thing, I don't want when I finally get into a relationship, I don't want it to be where I'm leaving early. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy the relationship. So I want us to come together, and I don't want it to be stressful for me to be in this relationship.
Because ultimately, what do we call it? Partnership.
Right.
So that means I could be single if I'm going to constantly be stressed out, overwhelmed, tired, frustrated, like overwhelmed. Why do I need a partner if I'm feeling all of these things? The purpose of a partner is to alleviate some of those things. This is also one of the reasons why women are talking about decentering men, because they are saying they feel overwhelmed. They feel like they're working more with the man. They feel like they're doing more with the man. They feel like they have to beg for time. They have to beg for attention. They have to beg for this and that. And so they're like, well, why even have a man? Why even focus on a man if I got to do all of that? And so then once you get to understand, okay, these are my needs. These are my expectations. And this is big for women and men. Stop just accepting stuff. There are options. You don't just have to accept the first thing that comes along because they came along. You get to choose. And you should choose better. When you experience something you don't want, you get to say, okay, I don't want that. So you don't keep doing the same thing. I had to learn that, admittedly. You don't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result, right? And that's why I tell people, when I met Marcus, I was just like, okay, I'm waiting for the ball to drop, but I can't, because that's sabotaging, right? And that's that check-in part, right? I had to check in with myself. What am I doing? Why am I sabotaging this? Because I've never experienced something like this. So check in with yourself, Keya. Why are you feeling like the ball is going to drop? Because that's something you experienced in the past. That's not him. He's not anybody from your past.
Right.
So allow him to be who he is, right? So that also contributes to, you know, how you see your partner and how you guys work together collectively.
Yes.
We got 2 more comments here. Markeisha Watson, being more thoughtful and contributing more around the house is a great start.
That's part of being a salt.
That means she want Ray to help her clean up in the house. Ray, get your shit together. Markeisha wants you to help.
You out.
Get the broom, get the mop, get the Windex, and you need to start cleaning up that house, Ray.
Because her time means a lot. Because her time means a lot. Ray.
Raymond.
Raymond.
Government name.
Oh, you know we had to mess with him.
Yeah. So
She said, Ray, that means you need to.
Those are friends, so we could call them out. We could call them out.
So,
hilarious.
one of the things that when you had that topic about decentering men, the question I think I raised to you, I couldn't type it because I can't type. I wanted to ask was about when women are centering the men, and the men are taking this role of being centered, because a lot of men been centered all their life by their mothers, sisters, because a lot being taught that, hey, I'm gonna take care of him. This is how women should be taking care of you. The sister, hey, make sure you cook dinner for your brothers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the training. That's the innate training.
yeah. So now they're going. This is what they're seeking from a woman, that they should be the center of their being. That's one thing. And what you said earlier was about they need to be doing things for themselves, and they instead of looking things outwards. Because guess what? When they look for things outwards, the vultures look for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for the vultures. They gonna pick that meat.
Yeah.
No.
There's vultures on both ends.
Exactly.
Yep.
So if you're not again valuing yourself and not expecting that validation on the outside, you're gonna get there's certain people that's gonna come to you that's gonna be in your space. You're gonna draw in certain people in your space. That's not very healthy.
Yeah. That's big right there. Like, I hope that's set with some people. You're gonna draw in how you feel about yourself, right? Because people can feel that and see that. So if you have low self-esteem, they see you have low self-esteem and they're coming, right? If you're not confident or you lack the ability to make wise decisions, they see that. If you're hungry for attention, they see that. And so you have to be very careful about that energy, because that could be dangerous.
Yes.
Is there any comments up there?
Yes.
Yes.
You know I can't read.
Oh.
Read it.
Biggest flex to continue to by Barisa. She said biggest flex to continue to grow and nourish your partnership, to see your partner's flaws, quote unquote, and turn them into what you love most about your mate.
Come on, therapist.
Bring it home.
Come on,
I
therapist.
gotta reread it a couple times.
To see your partner's flaws and turn them into what you love most about your mate. So she's saying the things that she sees as an issue, turn it into what you love most about your mate, or not. Or you can just see it as, okay, this is something I don't like it. It's like, okay, here's the thing. Like when you're in a relationship, when you meet somebody, okay, there's things, okay, so my motto was that everybody crazy as hell. It's the level of crazy you willing to deal with, right?
Yeah.
So the level that you're willing to deal with, because everybody has differences of ways they do things, right?
Yeah.
Let's not call them flaws. There's certain things that I don't like, and I'm like, I might second guess I might second guess staying with them, and then I have to also make sure that I'm not sabotaging, right?
Yeah.
So, and picking out on everything, right? So, so when you say it, I think the flaws just throw me off. It's like, okay, maybe a differences of how they do things, right? Because something you could.
It could be a difference of how you do
Okay,
things.
clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, so when I'm saying flaws, typically most women, such myself included, you have insecurities that you think are flaws. So when you have your mate come in, they see a different perspective, so then they make it turn into something else.
I love that. Okay, I
Yeah.
love that point of view.
See, red flag circus. It's like,
Red flag. Red flag.
But seriously though, yes, that's a good point of way to put more definition to just using the word flaw.
Yeah.
Which can be looked upon as negative at times.
I know, cause okay, like the red flags. Like red flags would be okay.
Raymond not cleaning up.
Right. Or smoking cigars in the garage all night, right?
All night.
All right.
There'll be a limit to that. Cut off time.
Yeah, but you know, I can kind of see what she's saying. Like the flaws do kind of throw you off. Like, but it's also like I can look at it as embracing the differences, which you necessarily a flaw, but embracing something that you're not accustomed to that and you appreciate it. Like I communicate like crap verbally, and she kind of embraces like, okay, we can work with that. Just she learned to look at different things and how I communicate to kind of supplement. Even though she's gonna give me like, use your words, but she also knows how I respond and how I do things. Because I often, which is a big issue for us, because she's a writer, poet, and all that good stuff. I'm a mumbler and a stutterer, so these two things usually don't mix. So I have to retranslate what I'm saying into English or proper definition. I'm like, hold on, babe, that's not what I meant. She's like, okay, I understand what you mean. That's a flaw, but I get it. I'm learning to understand. I need to hold up and wait a second, let him clarify what he's saying.
That's a great
So what about
example,
weaknesses
babe.
or strengths then?
That happened yesterday, actually, right?
Yes.
It happened yesterday. So I had interpreted something that he said, and I got mad immediately, right? And I told him, like, that upset me, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean that at all, right?" So he's like, "I meant this. This is what I meant." Da da da. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But that's the healthy version of where we are now.
Yes.
Because how could that backfire when you're not healthy, when you're not working on yourself? How could that have backfired?
Oh, wow.
So you have to, that's why we talk about checking in with yourself. That's why we talk about acknowledging the things about you that, you know, it might sting a little bit, but that's who you are, right? And your partner, and make sure your partner can embrace those things about you. They're not calling it a flaw, right? They just acknowledge. Like, I know he stutters, right? Okay, we all know that. It's a thing that's known. I don't see it as a flaw.
Right.
That's the way that he communicates. And we have learned how to have a healthy way of communicating. So if I take something a different way, I can stop and be like, do I always do it? Absolutely not. But can I check myself on the back end? After I get mad, he'll say, "No, babe, that's not what I meant." And immediately it was over. Immediately. I didn't hold on to it. Many times we hold on to stuff for days, weeks. These grudges are not healthy.
Right.
So let it go. When you decide to accept their apology, move forward.
Yes.
Move forward.
Yes. And what if there's strengths and weaknesses? Like the partnership aspect of it, right? Her strength is communicating, right? And your weakness might be
The
communicating.
love language.
Say it again.
Goes back to the love language.
Right.
Understanding your partner.
Yes. And so what if it's not because there are, okay, so yes, there are red flags in situations where you're dating somebody and you're like, that's a red flag. Oh, that's one too. Oh, that's one. Okay, now it's not a flaw. It's just red flags, and this is just your character. Let's just let you go.
Yeah.
Right. Let you go. But when you guys are working on your partnership and working on that, it's like I identify your strengths, and I identify your weaknesses, and the weaknesses aren't going to break us or can break the relationship. Right? We can come together because this is my strength in this area where you fall short.
Yeah.
That's a partnership.
And it's not seen as negative either.
Exactly.
Right? Then I'm gonna attack you.
Right. I think that's what I think the flaws made it like this negative thing. Like, so that maybe I just got stuck on that word flaw, right?
Yeah.
Got some more comments, Marcus, coming in over there?
Yeah. Once they come up on here, I can.
Okay.
But you can read them out.
I'm not even looking.
So go to Instagram.
While we wait, did anybody in the audience have anything that they would like to add to that or share about what we just shared?
I do.
Okay,
And I put it in the comments, but they hadn't come up yet. But
The
when
garage.
Marcus was talking, what I was thinking is give your partner the grace to clarify their thoughts that they're trying to convey.
Exactly.
Don't automatically assume
Give them
because
grace.
it came out one way
Yeah.
that they meant it that way. Give them the opportunity to clarify. And I think a lot of times, a lot of relationships, that's a big breakdown in communication right there. And it can speak to a lot of things. It can be trust, issue, whatever it is, but sometimes you just got to take a couple steps back. And it kind of went back to the question that the young lady, Miss Baressa, had out there where she was, it sounded like she was asking or saying something about dealing with certain issues. To me, what she was saying was like she was saying, take those issues that are uncomfortable and make lemonade out of lemons in a sense, try to find a way to use those things in a positive way.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes in some relationships today that people just don't do that. Everybody, it's like a microwave society. Everybody expects everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to put the work in just a little bit deeper to see what the meaning is underneath.
Yeah.
The initial statement. So
That's good.
That's kind of where I was going.
Yeah.
I also like what you said too, like making sure about when you're communicating with your partner and taking that that big grace, and so one of the things too with I mentioned before, like reflective listening, because reflective listening stops you from, because what we tend to do is when we hear something we tend to have an answer for it, and so we automatically start in our heads to fight back, to be like, hey, this is, and so when you stop and say, okay, so what you're saying is, so what you just said was, and it's in, like, because I'm good at like cutting people off. I'm really good at that. And so I have to stop myself intentionally when I'm having a conversation, and I have to tell myself, when I have to be present, I'm like, okay, let's hear what that they're saying. What are they trying to tell me? And so then I stop and I say, okay, what you're saying is, so you can't have long-winded talk because I got to get down what you're saying, right? Okay, so what you're telling me is this. Okay, is it what you're saying? Okay, that's not what you're saying. Okay, help me understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to get there. And it's still...
That's why you got to work on this.
Yeah, you got to waste a constant, but that's why you got to be present too.
Yep.
So, it's 7:28.
Shani?
So that was more of my question. Basically, when you're dealing with the situation that you just said, what are some tools or some things that you can use or help others to use to get to a point of understanding?
So what you're saying is, you want to understand and you want tools to be able to understand, to be able to use in a relationship to be able to get better understanding. That was reflective listening, what I just did. I just reflected back what you just said. So was that correct in what you were saying?
That was correct.
That's a tool. Reflective listening. And so it's repeating back what the person says. Because typically when you're in a heated debate, heated argument, you just want to defend it. But what if you don't have to defend it?
Yep.
What if the goal is to resolve the issue?
Yep.
What if the goal is to resolve it and not who's right and who's wrong? Because we're not going to always be right and wrong. And being okay with saying, oh, I misunderstood you. Oh, I saw how you did that. That's my bad. Okay, you know what? I apologize. Because it's about maintaining and strengthening the partnership.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, and the big thing, I love that because I've been in therapy for a long time, and I get double therapy because my cousin's a therapist. So I get double therapy. And I love the fact that you can, it's also removing the ego, right? Like your ego has nothing to do with this. Get your ego out of this. I had to do it. It's a lot of work. It's deep work because your ego, it's not even you that wants to do it. You don't want to do that. You want to have peace in your relationship. Your ego wants to defend itself, and that's a trigger, right? The trigger is showing up, and every time you hear that, a response is waiting, right? You're like ready, loaded. I need to respond because it's a
Like,
trigger.
no, he didn't just
I've
say
done
that.
this
Okay,
for
bet.
many years.
Right.
Up until about 2 years ago, I really learned how to hone in on this. And Marcus will tell you, when we have arguments, I always say, this is not about being right, because I could care less. That is something that used to matter to me. I used to care about being right. I'm right. I'm like, I don't even care about being right. I want to resolve. Right? I don't want to be. Resolve, I do. Because I want to have peace in my house. I want to have peace in my partnership. Fee,
I think a lot of times too with that, sometimes you just want to be heard. Like I just want you to hear me out and hear what I'm saying and hear my perspective. It's not about me being right or you being wrong, but it's kind of that when y'all were talking earlier about checking in, like, let me just check in, right? Let's let's do a quick check in. Let me tell you, and just hear me.
Yes.
So I think a lot of times too, we just want to be heard.
Yeah.
And reflective listening does that too.
Yep.
Because then if you felt heard when I repeated back, you felt like I heard you. And so yes, if we all practice that, then we can. That it respects each person in the situation. Instead of saying, remember when you, well back then, instead of doing that back and forth, and it's about respecting each other's points of view and coming to a resolve. Like, okay, did you want me to change? Like when he does the reflective listening, now the question is, do you want me to now? So what can we do to resolve this? Right? Okay, I hear you saying this. So is there a way that we can resolve this without this, without this continuing? Yeah.
Do we have comments, babe, or anybody else have comments in the audience? Tony?
I think I have a comments about the real when she said about I guess the husband helping around the house. So to me, it's okay. So is she a housewife or does she work and he works?
They both work.
They both work. Okay. But when she's saying help around the house, what does that mean? Like come home and cook? Come home and wash dishes?
Right.
Yeah.
They would have to,
but that's why they need to talk about that.
They have to, because not everybody's going to be the same. So yes.
Because I mean, I'm kind of guilty of that a bit, I guess, because I work all the time. But when I work and I'm tired, when I come home, I don't do anything. I'm tired. So when I come home, I want to take a shower, I want to eat, and if there's anything that needs to be done, sometimes I said I'm not doing it, but I try to help whatever I could. But as a man, when you work all day and you work, and then you're tired and you come home and expected to do more work, where's the balance?
There's a lot of things triggering in the words he's saying.
I was going to back you up, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to touch that.
We expected to come home.
So what you're saying
Hold on, because Shamika's about to show you this.
Yes.
So what you're saying is,
Please.
when you come home from work, you're tired and you don't want to do any work at home.
Yep.
Okay.
Not at all.
So, but what's going on? What's going on when you come home? What is expected of you?
What's expected? Nothing. Most of the time, she have most of the things done around the house. Every now and then, she asks me, if I'm home, she asks me to do stuff. But
Okay.
I might say that, I'm tired today. I was working all week. Maybe I'll put it off sometimes. I'm guilty of that. But
Okay. So sometimes you put off things when you do work, and you put off some things that need to be done at home.
Yeah.
What would you like? So in order to resolve this, what would you like to happen? What would you like for him to support you in the household?
Not to make this a long conversation. Like you guys were saying before, check in with me. Don't just have your own agenda when you come into the house that you haven't been in all day. So you have no idea what the temperature of the room is. You have no idea what went on prior to you getting here. Check in.
Okay, so what you're saying right now in this moment is you would like for him to check in.
Yes.
Would you like him to call you before he gets in, like if he's driving, calling to check in, or when he gets home? Like how would you like that to go, to feel supported and just checking in?
However he feels he wants to do it. If he prefers to do it on the drive home, he can do that, or when he gets home, he can do that. Just check in and say, hey, how was your day? What was going on in your day?
Okay.
Is there anything I can do to help support you in your day? If this happened, you know what? He hears me say a frustration, for example. He can say, you know what, when I get home, I'm going to handle it by doing X, Y, Z.
Okay. So she's saying she needs you to just check in and be supportive in that. So what if, or would you be able to know that when I come in home, I'm going to give her 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes to just check in. Would that be possible?
It's possible. My problem is I forget. So if I come
set your
home,
alarm. Set your alarm.
I can do that.
Or is there, or I'm sorry, is there a way you can remember? Is there something you can do to remind yourself when you get home that I'm going to, instead of I'm tired, I'm going to get into bed, I'm tired, I'm going to get into bed. What if you say, okay, I'm tired, but I'm going to give her 15 minutes when I get home? What if that's the thought too?
Yeah, we can try that. But it's a two-way street too. I mean, I feel like, you know.
Hold on,
women
so
should
hold
be
on, wait,
checking
before we move to, hold on,
with
before,
men as well.
hold on, before we move
You
to
gotta go
something
there.
else though. Because right now, have we resolved this? Are we
Yep.
going to try to do the 15 minutes?
Yeah, we can try to do the 15
Okay,
minutes.
now you have another issue.
12 million.
Well, no, I'm just saying, you saying check in when I come home and say, hey, what's been going on today? Tell me about your day.
Yes.
But I mean, it's the other way around too. You guys can check in with us and hey, how was your day? What was going on?
That, so it'll be
I
a
mean,
15-minute conversation, a check-in. So that's
So
okay,
both-
that's good.
Yeah, both of
Yeah,
us
that's what
should
she
check in.
said. That's she said, I think that's
I
what
thought
she
you
said,
were saying
right?
just me coming home like, hey, tell me about your day.
It sounded, well, okay, I took it as she's saying like, have that conversation with each other.
That's correct.
Okay, that's what I took it as. If I don't know if you said it, I just assumed, so maybe I done. But yeah, so it's you guys checking in with each other.
Yeah.
So what if it's a 15-minute check-in with each other?
Yeah, we can
Okay,
try that.
yeah.
But again, so my question, just kind of go back a little bit to this. So if you work all day, are you expected to come home and pick up the broom and clean the kitchen?
That's a conversation. So okay, so you're asking for a physical job in the house.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking. I'm just making a comment. I'm just asking, I guess.
Well, that would be us. It wouldn't be us. It'd be your wife. You would ask that.
Well, I mean, for other people too.
Nope, not
Yes.
them. They would ask they would ask their partner.
Right, but that's the thing. Okay, so yeah, they
That's their
asking the man to
conversation.
come home and do work.
That's
after
not
they
what she
work all
said.
day.
That's not what she said. She got to have her own conversation. You can't talk about their situation. This y'all situation. Y'all situation. She just wants you to check in. She not asking you to pick up a broom just yet. That's their stuff. She might want him to pick up a broom and he might can.
Right.
But we don't
There's
know
nothing
because
wrong
that's
with
their,
it.
yeah,
It's just
but I'm
what's the
saying.
expectation.
Well, no, there's no
You've
expectation.
been
See, that's the
working.
thing. The expectation is what you're expecting in the relationship. There's no general, broad expectation. There's what you guys will work for your relationship because you guys are the partners. So everybody is, the relationships are not cookie cutter. It's not about them. It's about what y'all go do in your home and how y'all go strengthen and build your relationship and partnership.
If I could say this, one of the things I'll say to you, you know, we did this some time ago, similar to kind of what you're saying, because I know where you're going, but if you can manage to do that 15-minute thing, either there's gonna be one or two things that's happening. Either you're gonna like it, and after a while, for one, you'll never forget to do it, and you'll talk for an hour like it was 15 minutes. You'll forget that, okay, I'm supposed to give up 15 minutes. Then next thing you know, every day you coming in, y'all having an hour and a half conversation. You know, and so sometimes, and I think what Shimeka is trying to say is like, it's related to what you were asking about the question. You know, you have to sit down and figure out as the man, like, what does this look like in my house going forward? I think one of the unique challenges we have as men is sometimes, you know, and we get frustrated about it, that we're expected to know certain things. But I think what I'm getting from this conversation is that as you have those conversations, it's up to you to kind of decide and you know, find the nuances that work between the two of y'all. You know, you may not ever have a conversation about you picking up a broom per se, but you may find that, you know, there were some things that you realized you probably could have did that she never said to you, that you may not ever acknowledge, but you might just come in and do the shit just because, you know that that's something that she wants. So when she says it's, you know, relationship specific, it's just that. You know how your house goes, you know what you want to do and what you don't want to do, but those conversations will reveal things between the two of y'all. She'll get just as much. She may look at you and start and realize, hey, when's the last time when he came in, instead of me inundating him with shit I want him to do, did I just say, you know what, babe, how was your day? You know, did you make any major strides in your business? You just never know. And so as you're having those conversations, it kind of opens you up to learn more about one another. I've had to do that with Felicia, and I'm not good at it at all.
So I'm gonna touch on what you were saying. You know, something that you said as men. That a lot of times what we also do, I think we confuse expectations and assumptions.
Right.
What are we expected to do, or we assuming that we should be doing? Just for you saying that in general, like, I'm assuming she want me to come home and do this in the house. Now she expecting it. because we didn't check and communicate. I'm very guilty of that.
Yeah.
She'll check me real quick. Several times a week, I'm bad for it. No, you're assuming that. Stop that shit. I'm not expecting. No, talk to me, and I'll express to you what I want you to do. I'm asking you to do what I need you to do. We gotta. Those two words are getting blended, and we have to learn to separate them and understand the true definition.
That's good, babe. Thanks for sharing that, because that we have to stop and pause, because he'll just automatically be like, oh, you want me to do such and such? I'm like, no. You just jumped. I asked the question, and he automatically assumed that's what I wanted. It was just a question, right? And so when that happens, I get frustrated, because I'm like, that's not where I was going with that. It could just be that's the first part of the question, and then he'll jump way over here to, oh, you want to go to Florida? And I'm like, no. How did we get there? How did we get there? Like, so it can be extreme, and then when you make those extreme assumptions, that, I mean, it's something that's small, and then it can just turn and snowball into this big thing. And it's like, we need to really stop and listen to our partners. Like, really, we need to just stop and listen to each other. That changes so much. My relationship is the healthiest I have ever had in my life. There is no stress in this relationship. I mean, seriously, and I'm not just saying that. There is no stress in this relationship, because we've learned how to communicate with one another. Do we get frustrated? Is it that we don't like certain things about each other? Yeah. But we know how to do a healthy dialogue, have a healthy dialogue between each other. Again, yesterday, it was over in 60 seconds. Just like that. Because he explained to me what it meant, and I let it go. I trusted his explanation. I believed that that's what it was, and we moved on. So I think that's important. We have to start doing that so we can have healthier relationships. Data from the Real is about reflecting positive relationships, having positive relationships, and doing the work to have the best and healthiest relationships with your partners, which will then extend to other relationships in your life. Then you'll be able to, across the board, have healthy relationships with family members, with friends, with co-workers, etc. Because you've now learned the most difficult relationship is the person that you're in romantic relationship with. If you can cure that, you can cure all the other relationships.
Deep.
Yeah.
So I gotta toot your horn a little bit, babe. As you stated yesterday, we got married. Make sure you change our last name real quick. Quick facts in a hurry. Miss Goodwin. But yeah. But the thing is, I'm listening to the other people as they talk about her, and people were saying how they look at their relationships different because of how they see her and how she's operating, how it made them retool and readjust because how she did it, and the success she's having now. The ability to open up when you need to, see flags when they're there, and knowing that there's hope. No, screw that. There is love. Now, we ain't not gonna say hope. There ain't no hope, but it's there. And getting yourself ready to receive it, because you have to be ready to receive it. We had to retool ourselves to be, because if we met in 5 years ago, she'll be Keya McClain, I'll be Marcus Goodwin. That's it, and that's all. So that positivity being around each other, it does spread. It spreads to your friends. And the ones who don't want to accept it and they're just all negative,
let them choose what they choose.
Let them choose what they choose, and you go down that highway, and just let it go.
Yeah. So what are your closing thoughts and words, Don?
My closing thoughts on this is a very deep and important topic. As we can see, there are always two sides to the coin. When you talk about earlier about decentralizing, and when you're looking at it from a male perspective, we're like, oh, so you're just going to center on yourself. But that's not the case. We want our women to be healthy. We want them to have goals. We want them to be able to accomplish things without us looking over their shoulder all the time. So it gives me a better perspective of the word and how it's used in pertaining to a soft wife life or a soft life.
Yeah. That's good. That's what I love about when we have these conversations. We always learn from each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
We always pour into each other. Shimeka?
This was a great conversation. I loved how we came together and had this like dynamic and being able to see from different views and stuff. So I love that, and I love the audience. Thank you guys for sharing.
Yeah.
So amazing. So
Yeah, babe.
You know, based on this topic alone, the decentering of your partner and your soft life era, they're not opposites. They're not opposites.
That's good.
Because you need one to fulfill the other adequately.
Yes.
True.
You know, I need to be. Yeah, I do. I need to be full
That's good.
to give you what you deserve. I can't. I'm gonna give you that overflow, and like somebody said, the two overflows. We'll make a rainbow. We'll make flowers grow.
Yes.
And I love it. We just gotta stop being the words can't scare you. You know, like a boogeyman in the closet. Open the closet. There's nothing there.
Yes.
And that's what we are here for. We're opening doors, opening closets. We want to see what's going on, because guess what? That outfit you want to wear to the club tonight, or outfit you want to wear to church tonight, that outfit that you want to go on your date with your partner tonight, it's in the closet. Open it up and see what's in there.
That's good, babe.
It's good.
So vulnerability is a big thing, right? And I'm going to close that out by saying, allow yourself to be vulnerable with yourself first, right? We don't even allow ourselves to be vulnerable with ourselves. We lie to ourselves. I don't have feelings. I don't have emotions. I don't need to feel, but you need to, right? You need to process those feelings. You need to be honest about those feelings, because if not, and you go into partnership, you're going in an inauthentic connection, right? So you have to be vulnerable with yourself and understand that. That's something that I had to work on, because I would be like closed off and stonewalled, but that's not really what I felt, right? And that's okay. You know, it's okay to be honest. It's okay to be vulnerable, but you start that with yourself. When you do that, then you'll be better equipped to be vulnerable with other people. That shows authenticity. When you show up in authenticity, people trust you, people respect you, or people will hate you. Okay? So you have to look at that and say, you know, what do I want my relationships to look like? Do I want to have real relationships or fake ones? Do I want to have deep ones or surface level?
Yeah.
So we get to choose what that looks like, and I think we need to take the opportunity. I am very, very pro love. I love love. I love to see us in love and in partnership. But do you want to do the work? It's the question. Because if you don't, what are you doing? So we have to start doing the work. We have to start accepting feedback and critique from our circle and listening and understanding that. So again, make sure you are having positive people around you, that you're connecting with other healthy couples and people that are doing the work and they're within themselves and their relationships. Did anybody in the audience have any closing words?
This was great.
Thank you
Great.
guys too.
Thank
Man,
you.
Man, thank you guys.
Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you. Mrs. Goodwin in the building.
What is it? It's Keya Goodwin the Poet now.
Change everything.
Changing your name. Keya Goodwin the Poet.
Well, you always gonna be Keya McClain, but when we go out to eat, it's Keya Goodwin. Oh, Jane, that's Keya Goodwin. When she doing that, when she doing what she do.
The brand is still Keya McClain the Poet, but I am Keya Goodwin.
Yes.
So to our audience, to those that will come back and watch the replay, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. And if you would do such a favor to us and hit the share button, hit like, hit subscribe. Make sure you share this out with your friends and family. We appreciate the support. And guess what? We're at the Goodwin home. We have an audience, which is friends and family. And we're about to close out the turn up of the Goodwin celebration.
Yes.
Peace out.
Yes. Bye.